Howdy ladies and gents, and good morning. It is the last day of classes at my school today, and I haven't done a day in the life type of vlog in a long time. It was actually one of the first types of videos that I made on my channel was a day in the life of a teacher. So I thought the last day of classes would be pretty fun to do another day in the life. My day typically starts with breakfast. I usually eat eggs, bacon, little salad, and black beans. I'm all out of black beans today. So I follow a low carb diet where I virtually don't eat any carbs during the week, and then I have a cheat day on Saturday and eat whatever I want. After breakfast, I will generally spend about 10 minutes reading the Bible and praying as my form of meditation. And then after that's done, I spend about 20 minutes doing some language learning. 2 years ago, I started learning Mandarin, and I found that spending 20 minutes in the mornings just doing some vocabulary review is a lot more effective and just kind of retaining a lot of that instead of trying to find hour-long blocks at different points in the week. I use an app and website called Skritter, which is nice because you can get the word, which I believe that is mao, like 10 cents kind of thing. Mao. Mao, not mao. So mao, 1/10 of a yuan, which is just nice. They give you a little sentence. You can see if you can translate it and then take a look at it right there. And so after that, I typically will kind of get some schoolwork done before I have to actually go to school. But today, I generally try to come to Jiu-Jitsu about 3 or 4 times a week. They have a 6 a.m. class. I hurt my hand a couple months ago, and so I will be out for 1 more week. But since I've been out, I've been trying to come at least once a week just to get some of the teaching of what they've been learning, so I don't fall too far behind. Coach Gabe, what's your philosophy on teaching Jiu-Jitsu?
To help people understand what's happening in a fight with their body and with their opponent's body. So that starts by understanding your balance, then understanding how your balance can be upset, and then also understanding how your opponent's balance can be upset.
Thanks for sharing, Coach. And from class, I go to school. And I try to get to school about 30 minutes early. Happy Half Five Friday. How do you feel about the last day of classes?
Pretty epic. Yeah, how about you, Tom?
I guess I feel pretty epic too. Happy Half Five Friday.
And there's still finals week next week.
Hey, why are you wearing a tie?
Because it's Tie-Dye Friday.
Tie-Dye Friday. How do you feel about the last day of classes right now? It's the last day. You sad? Day of classes.
I'm so sad.
Gibson, need a U vlog?
This is my YouTube video production class. I'm a little more comfortable filming myself in front of them because they know the pain and the struggle and how awkward that this can be. It's something that we do at my school. At the beginning of every class period, we do something called centering. It's a mindfulness activity. It defeats the purpose to film myself while I'm centering myself because I'm like, I hope I'm still in frame. But for the purpose of the video, I will share a little bit of what we do. Go and sit in tall chairs. Center real hard for the vlog. Close your eyes or rest your gaze down at your table. And let's take a deep breath in. And out. Okay. We'll spend the first 45 minutes for you guys finalizing whatever projects you need to finish up. If you've done all of that, go ahead and start working on your final presentation. So I didn't actually film that much this year in here because most of the class was just them editing the whole time and me just kind of jumping from person to person if they needed some help. But they're gonna do some final presentations at the end of class on the parts of their videos and their thumbnails that they're most proud of what they learned this year. Most of them are editing in Premiere Pro, thumbnails in Photoshop, and figuring out how to do tags and descriptions and everything like that.
We have Christ Conscious music video, which is the most recent one. And then this one was my first one that is not public because it got copyrighted. So I learned about like choosing music and stuff like that.
Questions, comments for Naledi?
Yes.
Did you take all of those shots yourself, or was any of it stock footage?
All of it was myself.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very impressive work, Naledi.
Thank you.
Really cool. Wednesdays and Fridays, I have to transition between classrooms, but luckily it's in the same room. Friday. This is the last day of class for pre-algebra, and what we are going to be doing today is a classroom auction. We have a classroom economy. Students have been saving their money from their classroom jobs all year. We have an auction every month, but the last classroom auction is a little bit more extravagant. And we'll do some test review. Are there any items that you have?
You have to pay for it, Jack.
I'm actually in debt currently, so no.
How are you in debt?
I didn't do my job.
What was your job?
I was supposed to post Instagram pictures, and I just kind of wanted to watch Grey's Anatomy instead.
Things like chocolate get sold for so much more than things of actual monetary value. So since it's the last auction, students who have bought their desk have bought it early on in the year. It's appreciated in value, and like buying a home, and then they sell their desk before the last auction. So they have no use for the money after today, and so it's kind of like a free-for-all, which is not like real life. How much money do you have?
$10,965.18.
How did you get that much money?
Because I bought someone's desk and they had to pay me for it. Then I bought my every month. And then I bought my desk and I just sold them back to Tom. I think I've got the most money.
Okay. I have an instructional video series on how I do this entire classroom economy system and create it and manage it and things like that I'll link in the description. I can't help you right now, I'm vlogging. 10% of this.
Our magnet and our structure.
And 50 cents because it was 0.5. Since we have hour-and-a-half long classes here, I will generally put a 5-minute timer in the middle of class, usually about 45 minutes in. The timer helps instead of just saying be back in 5 minutes, because if they get back after those 5 minutes are up, they get a fine in the classroom economy.
Okay.
What's your debrief on this review? Doing the review sheet for a couple of days, talking about it. Helpful, not helpful?
I wish I had more time to work on the new stuff we've learned because we had a lot of time to work on all the old stuff.
So at the end of every class, we do something called debrief, and I ask the students like what worked, what didn't work, and I have a video on how I actually structure that and use the feedback from the students. They'll link down in the description below. Do you have a favorite font?
No, I really like reading cursive.
Advisory, we usually do more of kind of like community building kind of stuff. Sometimes they have academic support where they can actually do their homework and I can help them out with it if they need it. But today we're just doing locker clean out and they'll be done because tomorrow we have our big end of the year advisory party. Ooh, so clean. You don't even use it, do you?
Nope.
And now it is lunchtime. I brought my lunch. I do a little meal prep of some fajita meat and veggies so I don't have to think about what I'm gonna eat, and it stays low carb throughout the week. And I just make 5 of them and then take 1 of them to school every day. Typically I have a office hours or a meeting or something else going on. This Friday, some of the guys that were in the esports group, the project that I did a couple months ago, we are having an esports club meeting to kind of figure out stuff for next year, budgeting, maybe building our own PCs and things like that. What did we talk about today, Aiden?
We talked about the budget for the esports team because building PCs and getting all the equipment for it is very expensive. Building them will save money, so trying to keep it as low as possible. We need to get confirmation from our higher ups, you know, and set out a good fleshed out plan.
And the last class of the day for me is robotics. The last week, they have been working on sorting their kits, making sure all the pieces that have either moved from their kit to someone else's kit finds its way back to the kit so the students next semester are good to go. It's a very tedious process. A lot of times students don't necessarily check everything, so I tell them if I can find something that they say they're missing, they lose a point. And if they don't grab their charger off the wall, they lose 5 points. You don't lose points if something's missing and I can't find it either. But otherwise, it's a really easy way to make all 50 points. You getting?
This piece. I gotta do some sick animations here.
So sick.
Oh, yes.
Look at it go. Just like in my YouTube video production class, these students are doing a final presentation, not on the project that they're most satisfied with, but on the project that they did their final project on, which was a project they could do anything that they wanted based on the things that they had learned, as long as it was a high effort project. And then during our final exam time, they are going to actually present their presentations as their final exam.
Was going to reel it in, and then it was going to pull this down. That part was going to open up a little bit once that was there, and then close, and then released again. It was pretty simple code. The main challenge for me was the build.
That is the end of my last day at school. It is approximately 3 o'clock at my school if we don't have a last period of the day, or if we don't have a certain period, we don't actually have to be at school. And from here I go home and I work on projects like editing videos like this or my podcast or anything like that, and then hang out with my wife. So that's a day in the life of a teacher. On the last day of classes, doesn't really feel like the last day of classes since we have finals next week and then we have some teacher in service, but it's the last time I'm really gonna be teaching these students for this year. Most of my classes, I have some videos of some of the stuff that I did this year in those classes, and I'll link them in the description, as well as the classroom economy system if you're interested in kind of checking that out maybe for next year. I'm Thom Gibson. I hope you learned something today, and hopefully I will see you in the next video.